Each time, it crushed her that Link didn't notice her.
"Yeah, good,"
Jerry muttered.
"Now a little brighter, less pout. Big smile, baby. Gimme teeth."
Holly smiled at the camera, but her eyes were focused on the past. On her 16th birthday, she had been babysitting Beth McKenzie, Link's half-sister, who was only 9. The McKenzies came home very late, arguing and more than a little drunk. Holly had never heard people swear at each other like that. When Link showed up unexpectedly, Holly ran to him. He drove her home, talking softly to her until she stopped shaking. When he learned that she had turned 16 at midnight, he teased her gently about sweet 16 and never been kissed. What began as a comforting gesture became different, deeper, the timeless kiss of a man holding a woman he desired. Holly responded with an innocent abandon that had all but destroyed Link's control. After a long time, he had taken her face between his hands and looked at her, memorizing the moment and the moonlight pouring over her dazed face. The smile she gave him had been that of Eve, newly awakened to the possibilities of being a woman.
"That's the smile I want,"
said Jerry triumphantly.
"My God, babe, if you were only half as hot as you look. Left shoulder. Give me some heat. Yeah. Turn on for me, babe."
Holly barely noticed the photographer's chatter or the battery of flashes going off around her. She was 16 again, smiling up at the man she had always loved. Link had wanted to take her out the following night, but Holly had promised to babysit for her father's foreman. That was where she had been when Link came and told her there had been an accident, a head-on crash along a twisting county road. He had driven Holly to the hospital, where doctors were trying to save her parents. He had held her through the long night, while first her mother, and then her father died. Link had held Holly while she screamed and wept, held her while her world shattered, held her until she fell into an exhausted sleep in his arms. When Holly woke up, she was in a hospital bed, and her mother's sister, Sandra, was there. Holly knew her aunt only from a few faded photographs in a shoebox full of family pictures. Within a few days, Sandra had taken Holly back to Manhattan, where Sandra owned an agency that specialized in high-fashion models. By the time Holly was 18, she was working full-time as a model. By the time she was 19, she had been on the cover of every major American and European magazine. By the time she was 20, she was the Royce reflection, the woman chosen by Europe's foremost designer to represent his total line of products, from perfumes to clothes, from negligées to cosmetics. Holly used only her middle name, Shannon, when she worked. It was her way of separating herself from the alien, glamorous creature who stared back at her from the pages of magazines and spoke seductively about negligées and sex on millions of television screens. Shannon was sensual, beautiful, extraordinary. Holly was not. After years of seeing herself as an awkward duckling, she wasn't at all comfortable with what makeup and lighting magicians did to her face and what fashion sorcerers did to her slender body. Most of all, Holly resented the males who groped after her carefully applied beauty in expensive cars and penthouse suites. She knew that the men were really making love to a 4-color magazine spread. And that was how she responded: cool, sophisticated, flat. Men had called her many names, frigid being the most polite. At 22, Holly was a virgin who looked like every man's dream of a sexy, very experienced lover. "Lift your arms," Jerry said. Dreamily she did, remembering what it had been like to slide her hands up Link's shoulders and comb her fingers through his thick chestnut hair. "Higher," Jerry ordered. "Good. Now arch your back and shake out your hair." Holly hesitated, acting like that wasn't part of her memories. She hadn't flaunted herself and teased Link. She had loved him. "Come on, sweetie," Jerry said impatiently. "Give it a little sex. Think of your lover." Caught between the innocent past and the empty present, Holly tensed. No, Jerry snapped. Forcing herself to relax, she tried again. "Not good enough," he said.